you are not price anchoring, you are losing money. Hi, my name is Bob Seebohar. I am the owner of Energy Performance, also a sport dietitian, exercise physiologist, endurance coach, and mentor of young health and nutrition professionals. Okay, so today's topic is price anchoring. Have you ever heard of price anchoring before? Hopefully, maybe not, right? As a small business owner, we actually need to anchor our prices. So what does this mean? Let me give you an example. Price anchoring is something that will allow you to sell more of one particular service that you have in your business. Okay. So the easiest way to think about this is as kind of like a pyramid, right? So the bottom of your pyramid is bigger base, the middle of your pyramid a little bit smaller, and the top of the pyramid even smaller, right? Okay, so price anchoring. Let's say, for example, you have maybe some of your services, you're going to sell a 1 hour appointment with you. That's a one-on-one appointment with you. Okay. That's one. That's the bottom of the pyramid. The second tier of the pyramid, you're going to sell a 1 month program with you. So maybe you meet once per week, you get some email in there, texting, like whatever it is, right? So it's 1 hour, 1 month. And then the top of the pyramid is kind of what I would call the VIP experience. So maybe the VIP experience is still a 1 month, similar to the second tier, 1 month, but now it's like 2 or 3 times a week you're meeting with that client, texting, email, FaceTime, whatever it is, right? So the difference is that you are engaging more as you get higher with your service, right? So the 1 hour appointment is just a 1 hour appointment, right? It's a transaction. The middle is actually you're starting to develop a little bit of transformational process because you're working with someone for a month, but you're only talking to them once a week. The last one, that VIP, is the wow, total transformation. We're going to be completely delving into this together. There's a high rate of accountability, high degree of it. There's a lot of productive measures in there, a lot more time with you. Okay. Now, let's say, just for this example, the pricing is $100 for the 1 hour, $300 for the 1 month, and $3,000 for the 1 month VIP. Right now, you're thinking, why would someone pay $3,000 a month for the VIP? If you're thinking about that, you should actually contact me because we probably need to work a little bit on your mindset of money, right? That said, we're not going to talk about that in this video today. What I want to describe here is what price anchoring is, and how important it is for you to implement it in your services. Now, that may mean that you develop a few more services because you need at least 3 services to be able to effectively price anchor. In my example, 1 hour, 1 month, 1 month VIP, $100, $300, $3,000. In your mind right now, you're probably thinking, there's no way someone's going to pay $3,000 to work with me in a month. No way possible. Okay. I mean, aside from getting over that little money mindset issue that you're having, why not? Have you ever thought about that? Like, why isn't that possible? But if you're still kind of in the dark ages and you're thinking, okay, that's not possible, that's fine too, because that's your price anchor right there. So if you want to sell more of your middle tier, which I would actually highly recommend. I do not recommend selling more one-on-one, 1 hourly appointments. Those will burn you out. It establishes an income ceiling that you'll never be able to get over, right? So I feel like those one-on-ones, they're fine. You don't want to put much of your time and effort into those in terms of marketing, but they're there when they're needed to be. You want to really make sure that you're putting more emphasis on more the transformational. So at least that 1 month service, 1 month program, because you want to move from the 1 hour transactional to at least a 1 month transformational, at least, right? Okay, so that's it. Let's go back to this. What is a price anchor? A price anchor is something that when someone looks at it, they think, in the majority, about 90% of people will think, that's a little too steep for me in terms of pricing. Because remember, psychologically, what do customers look at first? What do we look at first? Pricing. Ooh, look at the price first. Is that too expensive? They don't look at the value. They look at the price first. So how price anchoring works is you make them look at the highest price thing first. In our example, it's that $3,000 for 1 month VIP experience. So they look at that $3,000 and say, oh, that's out of my price range. Okay, so be it. But then where will they go next? They will go down to the second one, which is your 1 month transformation program. And they'll say, wow, 300 a month? That seems really reasonable. That absolutely, let's do that, right? Because what you've done is change their psychology. They anchor their mind with $3,000 knowing it's way too expensive. Then they go to the next one and they see $300. And then they justify that in their mind where that wasn't or isn't a lot of money. That's what price anchoring does, right? So when you get the 100, the 300, the 3,000, you could even do, like in this example, a 100, 1,000, 3,000, right? The prices don't matter that much. Well, they do, but they don't, right? You need to have them so different that there is a difference, because the way the brain works is the brain shifts, right? The psychology of us thinking about pricing shifts when it's a very high number to a modest number. It's amazing the way it works. And even think about yourself as a consumer when you shop for things, right? It happens all the time. So when you see something that's super, think of a car as an example. Maybe it's like $100,000 car and you're like, whoa, that is too expensive. And then you see a $50,000 car and you're like, oh, well, compared to the 100,000, that seems like a good deal. That's price anchoring right there. It happens every single day, right? Then, I mean, in this car example, they would see the 100,000, they would see the 50,000, or you would see the 50,000 and say, hey, you know what, that's not that bad. And then you see maybe a $20,000 car, and what are you thinking? You're thinking, right then you're thinking, what is the difference between 20,000 and 50,000? And in your mind, you're like, you know what, I'm probably getting more car for 50,000 because it's a higher price, but it's not that super high price. So price anchoring is amazing because it's all around us. You need to do it in your business, absolutely, because all it's doing is it's distracting from that top end, which you actually may sell a few of those. Like I've done that in my business and I was actually shocked. I actually sold more than I thought I would at a very high price point. Because remember, and this is a topic for another video, but there are people out there, your highest paying customers actually want that. So you have to offer it. So why not offer it not only for them, but also as a price anchoring strategy and mechanism? So remember, again, use whatever you want for this as an example. I kind of like the car example now that I said that, right? It's a $100,000 car, 50,000, 20,000. 100,000 maybe out of your league, but then it makes 50,000 look a lot better. But then when you go down to the lowest, you're questioning, should I really pay 20,000? What if it breaks down? What if I don't get the value that I put into it? Yeah, let's go for 50. That's how our brain works. We're justifying that. It's the exact same way clients will look at your pricing. But again, to kind of summarize this, price anchoring works from the psychological perspective. You have to have at least 3 services, probably not many more of that, because then it just starts to confuse customers. At least 3 services, go super high, go like a normal rate if you do if it's like an hourly rate, like just do a normal hourly rate. And then somewhere in the middle, which is usually the program you want to sell the most of because we want to have a transformation instead of just a transaction. That's the one where you want it to be like not completely out of the ballpark, but you want it to be a sweet deal, if you will, compared to the highest price point, the one that we're using as a price anchor. Okay. Now, normally, you can use whatever you want to use here. I normally recommend that the price anchor is at least 3 to 5 times higher than what you're really trying to sell. Okay. So in the example I gave, if you have a VIP price anchor at 3,000, see if I do my math correctly, that would mean your monthly would be a $500 to $1,000 price, right? That would be that month with you, right? Not the VIP, but the middle one. Okay. So normally you want to think 3 to 5 times less than your VIP price anchor. That's just kind of a good place to start with. Okay. All right. Now you know a little bit more about price anchoring. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Thank you for watching.